Welcome to the DKHizouse. You know what we talking about. Welcome to the DKHizouse. That's what we gonna run our mouth. Hey y'all, just a little disclaimer. Everything is for entertainment purposes only. Everything is alleged. I don't know none of these people. I'm just giving my thoughts, my opinions, predictions on what I think I see and know and hear. And I want you to do the same down in the comment section. So don't take everything too seriously, but only with a grain of salt, because we be chefing it up in this kitchen. And welcome, glad to have you. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you've been here a couple of times, we'd love to have you in the fam bam. So we're gonna get right into it. The topic of conversation for today is you got women have a different attitude with the person they really like. Okay? If you don't know that, you need to know it. Okay? Because when you really are feeling somebody, you really attracted to somebody, you really vibing or liking somebody, you're going to act a little different than if you dislike them, you can't stand them, they get on your nerves. So down below, I do want you to let me know a time where you didn't really like somebody. How did you treat that person? And how opposed to that was a time where you really did like somebody? How did you treat that person? And was there a difference, or was it the same, or whatever? Let me know in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, please like, share, subscribe if you like any parts of any message in this video. I do appreciate you and want to see you back at the His House. Thank you very much. So yes, so at the end of the day, it's so crazy because most of the relationships that I have been in that were not my person, they did not get to see the real me. Like, I tried to give them a decent representation of who I could be, but since I knew they weren't my person, I just didn't give my all, my everything. I was kind of going through the motions, taking it, one day at a time, seeing where things went, trying to develop my emotions and feelings, but sometimes they just never came on most occasions. Have you ever been in that situation? And do you feel it's wrong when you are dating someone, but you're not fully invested, you're not fully in it? Okay. And if you are not invested in it, don't you feel like there's things that are going to happen in that relationship that are just kind of not right, even a bit toxic? For instance, I've stayed in relationships that I knew it was past due for me to be checked out of. I've dealt with a lot of stuff that I knew I shouldn't have dealt with because it was just a bit of toxicity. Even though I wasn't feeling a relationship, didn't want to be in a relationship, I was still hanging around. But I wasn't fulfilled. I couldn't say I was that happy. I was content, if that makes sense. Like, I was there benefiting in some way, form, or fashion. So I was content in sticking it out or staying in a relationship for the time being until I decided to move on, the person decided to move on, or find something else. But basically, it was when I decided to move on, because nobody ever decides to leave me on most occasions. So, if not all. So, I was just biding my time until I was ready to move on. Because every relationship that I was in, the person was, no, I can't even say they were more invested either, because sometimes they was putting on a big show, a big game, but at the end of the day, I don't feel like their actions really let me know what they were saying. Like, verbally, they were saying they were all in, they were invested, this and that, but their actions wouldn't line up with that. And that was the red flags that I should have took note of when, we started the situation or whatever. However, I did not. But that's kind of beside the point. The point of the matter is, if you don't know, a woman has a different way of dealing with the man she really feels, okay? And a lot of times, you may not ever get to see that side of her. I don't think nobody's seen the side of me that's my best, like my all. No man has seen that. And it's only because I really have not been with a person that I just truly am head over heels for. Sadly enough. And like I said, most of the relationships I've been in, it's just been cordial contentment, where, we say we love each other, we go through the motions, but it wasn't for real, for real. So if you are currently in a situation and you feel like you don't know if your person really rides for you, it may be because they really don't ride for you. Okay. Because the relationships that I was in that I really didn't ride for the person, don't get me wrong, I never was a person to start nothing. I would finish it, but I would never the person like start nothing, like make your life heck just be making a heck. To be honest, I was just looking for something that was content sure, like I could find peace and content in. So I wasn't never the person to try to start no drama, start no mess. It always seemed to happen to me. So I was just a person who adjusted to that. Okay. But when I say that I acted different, it was like I was just going through the motions. Like I may not have, taken care of everything that I should have as a woman, whether it was, in the bedroom, in the home life, or whatever. I would give like half, whatever. Or, if I wasn't cooking for them, I was cooking for myself and they was there, so I'm just cooking, you know what I'm saying? Or let's say what I could say. I'm going to work because I got to work for myself, not necessarily because I'm trying to do anything to better them. It was really me just focusing on me and just having them in the equation. It was never like me trying to do nothing for them. Like if they needed advice or something, of course I would give them advice. But due to the fact that a lot of times they got on my nerves, a lot of times it was kind of toxic, mostly from their end. Because like I said, I'm really not a toxic person. Really, I would say pretty much in all my relationships, I was a person who wanted to get out of them. But I never was a person who was starting the problems. Now, keep in mind, I would say it was a couple relationships that the people were genuine. But when I was like, I need to go, it was like they weren't trying to hear that. So it became toxic, if that makes sense. And I ended up leaving because at the end of the day, no grown person is going to tell another grown person what they can and cannot do. And if I don't feel like I'm going to stay in a situation, I'm not going to stay in a situation, period. Point blank, what matters of what anybody else got going on. And that's just what that is. So with that situation, I don't know, it was just not worth being in. But at the end of the day, it's like when I do find my person, I know that I'm going to show them the best version of me. I know you've seen that meme. I'm only nice to my person. Everybody else get this gangster-ish. Like that's a meme or TikTok that goes around. And that's so true. Like I didn't realize that was what it was, but it's really that. Like I really don't be caring too much. I'm really lackadaisical. Sometimes I'm selfish. Sometimes I'm just uninterested. Sometimes I'm unbothered. Sometimes I'm just over it. A lot of times I'm just over it with the person that I was in a relationship with if they're not my person. However, I do feel like most women and men too have a side that is only reserved for that one person. Now, true enough, men can be out here cheating, player, pimping all day, but when they find their person, you see a different side of them. And I feel like the same thing happens with women. And I'm so ready to share that side with me because I'm more mature. I know more what I want and what I'm looking for, to where I know the next person that I get with is going to be that and more. And I can't wait to be able to shower my person with love, care, laughter, support that I've been wanting to give to the relationships that I've been in. But I just haven't found my person. So in this life, you may kiss a few frogs before you find your Prince Charming. And that's just what it is sometimes. But when you find your Prince Charming, it's good. Like everything's lovely, everything's good. It's like I'm a different person. Like my needs become like second nature. I'm gonna make sure he's good. I'm gonna make sure he's taken care of. I'm gonna want to know that he's good. I want to know that I'm putting a smile on his face. I'm making his life easier, his job easier. I'm helping him in whatever way or form that I'm able to help him in. And that's how it is when I'm really cutting for a person. If I'm not really cutting for a person, then they may hate me. They may not even like me. Which I really haven't had that situation. My relationship people claim they did, whether they did or not, they claim they really cut for me. If I don't like somebody, I'm gonna just tell you, you get on my nerves. Like you, I really don't, I'm not feeling this right now. But them, they would say that they was in love and this and that. I remember a couple times after we broke up, it was like I was so in love. I was like, really? That was love? You could have missed me with that. Like, it's crazy. So I don't feel like I have experienced, I guess, showering of love and emotion from guys that were invested, because I did have a few that probably were invested. And I did believe them, but I also had some people that I felt like were just playing and being nonchalant, just like I was. So don't think just because you hear all these horror stories from a female of like, oh, they're toxic, oh, she's a cheater, or oh, she's hard to deal with, it's that she's gonna be there for every person, every man that she deals with. Like, it's not the case. A lot of women are toxic and hard to deal with and mean when it comes to a person that they're not compatible with, who gets on their nerve, who they're not equally yoked with, who is not really for them. It's nothing personal, it's nothing against you, to you. So don't take it personal and give up on love or trying it with a person, because you might be that person to change their life. You might be that person that checks all their boxes. You might be their wish fulfillment. You might be everything they're looking for and more. And they're going to show you that with their actions, their thoughts, their feelings, their gestures. You're going to know that without a shadow of a doubt that this person really cares for you, despite how they treated their ex or their exes, because their exes have nothing to do with you. Okay? And that's the deal why I don't like the certain questions that people ask in relationship, because what does it have to do with anything? What does how I'm going to treat you have anything to do with how I treated people in the past? Which, I mean, now when it comes to like abuse and stuff like that, that's different. But I mean, like, people want to know why y'all break up or whatever. Well, I mean, I guess that's helpful to some extent. It can be helpful. I'm not going to say that. But at the same time, it's like, let's say I used to talk crazy to my person, but you didn't realize they were talking crazy to me too. And so you asked me what was the problem, because they was talking crazy, but the point is, it's like, you got to get deeper. It's like, why were you talking crazy? Why were you being toxic? Like, there's reasons for this. A lot of people overlook those reasons. A lot of people think, oh, just because I'm in a relationship, then that person has to love me. That person has to want to be with me. Just like men believe just because a woman has relationships with them that there's something to it. Like, that's just the biggest myth that I've heard in this lifetime. But no, it's like, just like a man can change for the woman that's really for him, a woman can change for the person that's really for her. And to be honest, a lot of times it kind of scares me, and maybe that's why I haven't found what I'm looking for. Is because I'm scared to find it to some extent, even though I'm more accepting and receiving of it now, because I feel like it's time. I'm not getting any younger, but like, it's just gonna be out of my character for sure. I never had the experience to really act like this, because I haven't been in a relationship where I wanted to act like this, and nobody has seen this side of me. Nobody will probably understand this side of me, but it's there. It's loving, it's kind, it's adventurous, it's unconditional. But a lot of it does have to do with my growth and my progression in life. I really haven't really looked at relationships as nothing but toxic for a long time. So maybe that's what I've been receiving in most of my relationships, and I've just accepted it because that's what I had around me. But the person that I am going to be with is probably going to be blown away, because men will be like, we need a woman to do this. We need a woman to do this. It'd be like this. It'd be like this. But if your woman is not doing that, that's probably because she's not really invested in you as a person, as an individual. Because a lot of things that you want, your person is going to want for you too. That's called equally yoked, right? So I recently had a situation where I came in contact with someone who's just checking off all my bubbles, all my boxes. Like, we're thinking alike, we're finishing each other's sentences, and it's like, okay, you thought that, I was thinking that too. Like, are you inside my head? So it's like that yoke is equal. Like, I want to do the same things that you want me to do. You're doing the same things I want you to do. And it's like unspoken. It's not like forced, because literally there's people out there in this world that will ask you question after question to find out what it is that you want and then do that thing. But it's also a situation where a person can just check all your boxes off naturally. Well, true enough, like sometimes people past can reflect their future, so they do change accordingly because they care about your feelings. So that's something different. What I'm saying is, like, people that don't even like soccer, they'll act like they like soccer just to keep their person around because they know their person is in love with soccer. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, when you find that person that is like twinning with you, and they like the restaurants that you like, or they like the sounds that you like, or they like to do the things you do, it just hits differently, and it makes you become a better, bigger, different kind of person. So, when you find something like that, it definitely makes you want to be a better person, a better individual, and like be that woman that every man wants. Meaning, as far as, your go-to person, his rock, his peace, his love, his friend, his submissive partner, his backbone, his strength when he, needs the extra support. So it's just like you're gonna fall into that naturally. Me, I've given it, but it's always been on a surface level with people I've dated. It's just like with conditions. But when you find that person that's for you, it's like without conditions. It's like, I love everything about you. You can do no wrong. In my eyes, you're perfect. And a lot of times that's what is given for me nowadays. And it's just like, I never thought I would find that, say that. But it is possible. It is out there, and truth be told, I'm just saying, like, I've seen people that checked all my boxes, and I'm like, oh man, if we ever got together, if I ever crossed paths with this person, like, wow, not even saying that we've met in real life. I'm just saying, like, it's our people that I have met that check my boxes. Sometimes they can be in a relationship. Sometimes they can be out the country, different situations. Sometimes you can just see that person on TV. But at the same time, when you find that person that checks all your boxes, that fits all your bubble, you will be a different person. And it's crazy. It can be a little scary. It can be a little unreal because it's outside your comfort zone. It's outside your normal thing that you do. But at the end of the day, it's all love. It's all good. And I can't wait to express it. Well, as always, thank you for stopping by at the His House for your alleged tea, entertainment, and gossip and predictions. And we will definitely have more. So definitely come back and see us. And if you want to be notified, hit that bell and also subscribe, especially if you've been here before. Come back again and again. But subscribe and join the fam band. We'd love to have you. And if you liked anything that was said on today, or even made you laugh, joke, think, ponder, make sure you hit that thumbs up or that like button, especially if you agree or disagree, and comment down below.